scam. Motherfucker ain't my Uncle Sam, man. Old Sam's a sham. Slamming protesters' faces in the concrete. My whole mob's deep like Prodigy, wreaking havoc on you cop beasts. Watch these Molotovs leak. Styrofoam, napalm on martial arts streets. You'll step off and it's all peace. But if not, I'm rapping demonic politicians in sheets. Even a patriot act can't abolish my speech is freedom. I see demons in your eyes. Every time you read your speeches leaking with lies. Usurpers, thieves in the night. You see I read the things you tried to hide. Indignant finding truth between the lines. Genesis of discordia, bringing a mic into the political arena. Even the corporate owned mass media couldn't hide all the people FEMA let die during Katrina. A perfect opportunity for development of new regulations, giving Blackwater paramilitary a new station. In the event of another emergency in our nation, they started raping the Constitution. The sad part is, nobody cares enough to do shit. You fucking sheeple are useless. Genesis of Discordia, life scientist, son of Saturn, Cyclone, G malicious, murder bloody on the beat.
What's new? Just a different angle to the huge hustle. Down spiral has begun while the government is pimping you. President's skin color never really mattered. People dying on the streets while their pockets getting fatter. And you know they're getting paid while they're steadily destroying overpopulated land never meant for your territory. Ignoring all the rape and murder in the history. And the elders tell the story while you think it's all a mystery. Y'all might be blinded, but it's clear to me I'm seeing it. They're trying to put an end to the international power struggle, orchestrated within a secret political hustle. Anybody refusing to cooperate is getting muscle. They make you think they're doing the right thing, so you trust them. Ain't important to them, acknowledge you as a person unless you're speaking against them. Brainwashing has begun, bear witness to your demise of a well-thought-out system.
Wake the fuck up, we raise the stakes up, blaze the stakes cut. Y'all can't change our ways, what? We blaze the truth up, not paid for this, but hip-hop run through our veins, so we say what y'all want. Wake the fuck up, we raise the stakes up, blaze the stakes cut. Y'all can't change our ways, what? We blaze the truth up, not paid for this, but hip-hop run through our veins, so we say what y'all want. Fuck the new world orders, building the foundation of lies. Open your eyes, my third eye shine bright like the sun. They got me on the run, a fugitive because I refuse to accept they slithering ways like the rest of you shivering lanes. My brain waves intercepted and decoded the message. When I transformed into perceptor, the scientists make knowledge more regardless of the doubting skeptics. Believe what you want, motherfuckers, it's your death wish. But I'ma keep swinging on devils till I'm breathless. Countless nights of being restless, plotting my next move. I stay recruits, growing anger every time I see Obama on the tube. The Cobra Commander-in-Chief, they changed the skin color from the last one that gained more belief. Y'all went from the burning bush filled with lies to a nigga under the sea with a PhD. Prepping humans for destruction through mind abduction. I'm like the baking soda arm with a hammer so they can't touch this. Then the sins of discordia rain on their parade like crop dusters with some sort of substance. Not recognized by many as called the truth. But y'all walking cadavers would never know if it hit you in the face. Panphobic motherfuckers taking everything on face value. When to them your life has no value. Going through life like cattle. Mark of the beast, brand you barcode, scan your hand for food. Document your every move, jackhanded humanimal planet. I'm on some Hannibal BA Baracus 18 plotting to destroy them bastards. Wake the fuck up, we raise the stakes up, blaze the stakes cut. Y'all can't change our ways, what? We blaze the truth up, not paid for this, but hip-hop run through our veins, so we say what y'all want. Wake the fuck up, we raise the stakes up, blaze the stakes cut. Y'all can't change our ways, what? We blaze the truth up, not paid for this, but hip-hop run through our veins, so we say what y'all want.
If you want to picture the future, imagine the beast stamping on the human face. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen.
Brainwashing has begun, bear witness to your demise of a well-thought-out system.
We raise the stakes up, blaze the stakes cut. Y'all can't change our ways, what? We blaze the truth up, not paid for this, but hip-hop run through our veins, so we say what y'all want. Wake the fuck up, we raise the stakes up, blaze the stakes cut. Y'all can't change our ways, what? We blaze the truth up, not paid for this, but hip-hop run through our veins, so we say what y'all want.
But then I'm also storm, reports that secular order storms as I switch from a swordsman, holding the fist of a fascist empire. I blast back from band of fire, burning at 451 degrees Fahrenheit like literature fire. Your mind state program from the whole scam. Motherfucker ain't my Uncle Sam, man. Old Sam's a sham, slamming protesters' faces in the concrete. My whole mob's deep like Prodigy, wreaking havoc on you cop beasts. Watch these Molotovs leak. Styrofoam, napalm on martial arts streets. You'll step off and it's all peace. But if not, I'm rapping demonic politicians in sheets. Having a patriot act can't abolish my speech is freedom. I see demons in your eyes. Every time you read your speeches leaking with lies. Usurpers, thieves in the night. You see I read the things you tried to hide. Indignant finding truth between the lines. Genesis of discordia, bringing a mic into the political arena. Even the corporate owned mass media couldn't hide all the people FEMA let die during Katrina. A perfect opportunity for development of new regulations. Giving Blackwater paramilitary a new station. In the event of another emergency in our nation.
what y'all want. Fucking new world orders, building the foundation of lies. Open your eyes, my third eye shine bright like the sun. They got me on the run, abusing it because I refuse to accept they slither the ways like the rest of you shivering lanes. My brain waves intercepted and decoded the message. When I transformed into perceptor, the scientists make knowledge more regardless of doubt and skeptics. Believe what you want, motherfuckers, it's your devils. But I'ma keep swinging on devils till I'm breathless. Countless nights of being restless, plotting my next move. I stay recruited, growing anger every time I see Obama on the tube. The Cobra Commander-in-Chief, they change the skin color from the last one that gave more belief. Y'all went from the burning bush to a lies to a nigga under the sea with a PhD. Prepping humans for destruction through mind abduction. I'm like the baking soda arm with a hammer so they can't touch this. Innocence of discordia, rain on their parade like crop dusters with some sort of substance. Not recognized by many as God and truth. But y'all walking cadavers with never knows they hit you in the face. Can't motherfuckers taking everything on face value. Went to them, your life has no value. Going through life like cattle. Mark the beast, brand you barcode, scan your hand for food. Document your every move, check-handed, you animal planet. I'm on some Hannibal B.A. Caracas, 18 plotting to destroy them bastards. I'm on some Hannibal B.A. Caracas, 18 plotting to destroy them. We raise the stakes up, blaze the snakes cut. Y'all can't change our ways what? We blaze the stakes up, not paid for this blood. Hip-hop run through our veins, so we say what y'all want. Wake the fuck up, we raise the stakes up, blaze the snakes cut. Y'all can't change our ways what? We blaze the truth up, not paid for this blood. Hip-hop run through our veins, so we say what y'all want.
I want a picture. Imagine a boot stamping on a human face. Imagine a boot forever stamping on a human morals to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. This dangerous nightmare situation. Don't let it happen. Is a simple one.
Brainwashing has begun. Bear witness to your demonstrable wealth out of system.
We raise the stakes up, blaze the snakes cut. Y'all can't change our ways what? We blaze the stakes up, not paid for this blood. Hip-hop run through our veins, so we say what y'all want. Wake the fuck up, we raise the stakes up, blaze the snakes cut. Y'all can't change our ways what? We blaze the truth up, not paid for this blood. Hip-hop run through our veins, so we say what y'all want.
Let a mortal storm of worldly secular order storms in like sorcerous swordsman, holding the fist of a fascist empire. I'm blasted back with the fire, burning at 451 degrees Fahrenheit like literature liar. Get your minds deprogrammed from the whole scam. Motherfucker ain't mild, full Sandman, old Sam's a sham. Slamming protesters' faces in the concrete. My whole mob's deep like Prodigy, wreaking havoc on you cop beasts. Watch these Molotovs leak, sound from the palm of martial law streets. So step off in its all peace, but it's not a rapid demonic politics of retreats. Even a patriot that can't abolish my speech is freedom. I see demons in your eyes. Every time you read your speech, just leaking with lies. And serpents, thieves in the night. See, I read the things you tried to hide. Indignant finding truth between the lines. Innocence and discordia, bringing a mic into the political arena. Even the corporate owned mass media couldn't hide all the people FEMA let die during Katrina. A perfect opportunity for development of new regulations, giving Blackwater paramilitary a new station. In the event of another emergency in our nation, they started raping the Constitution. And the sad part is, nobody cares enough to do shit. You fucking sheeple are useless. Genesis is Discordia, life scientist, son of Saturn, Cyclone, G malicious, murder bloody on the beat.
What's new? Just a different angle to the huge hustle. Down spiral has begun while the government is pimping you. President's skin color never really mattered. People dying on the streets while their pockets getting fatter. And you know they're getting paid while they're steadily destroying overpopulated land never meant for your territory. Ignoring all the rape and murder in the history. And the elders tell the story while you think it's all a mystery. Y'all might be blinded, but it's clear to me I'm seeing it. They're trying to put an end to the international power struggle.
Hello, hello, hello from the edge of the apocalypse. This is Robert J. Morris on EPGN Radio Online, and we're doing another test podcast tonight to do a complete systems check and analysis. And with me, I got a few of the boys in the house. We've got from down under, we've got Jamie McNichols, the Sentinel himself. We've got Billy Grant with us. And we've also got Gematria Database. And oh my God, what do we got? We got one of them. Oh, hey, how's it going? Nice day, chap. We got Gematria Database in the house. How's everybody?
G'day. How's it going? It's a beautiful sunny day here on Monday afternoon. But how's you guys going, man?
Hello. Doing well here.
And
you're coming in a bit loud there, Keith.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, is that better?
Yeah.
Vibration,
but yeah. Yeah, you sound like Darth Vader then, mate.
Testing 1 2. Oy. Testing 1 2.
Oy vey, Bobey.
Yes. Actually, how long has Rowdy Roddy Piper not been with us now. It's been
Oh
over.
man, how long you had? What, 2 years, 3
Been a
now,
minute.
I think it's
4?
about almost 3 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They'd have to look it up. It's
The world
probably
got a little bigger when he left.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
he exuded space, that gentleman. Anyway.
I just tried
So-
to put a picture on my screen, one of these virtual ones they have selected here, and my damn computer said, "Oh, warning, warning, memory." I have plenty of memory. These things demand more and more all the time, and like go out of whack if you even come, imply that you might add something on your computer. I've got plenty of, not awesome amount, but way more than I'd have to worry about.
Right.
Mhm.
So this is just a bit of a test, Bill. So no,
Yeah.
we'll go through it with just it's pretty simple. The good thing about this is, Bill, is it's like StreamYard and Skype all blended into one. And this is another free conference call that we use. And
Except for it doesn't do any streaming. It's kind of
Yeah.
like that. It's like Jitsi. It's kind of like a free video conference software. It's simple. It's
Yeah.
light. And it doesn't have too many fancy doodads that distract you. I'm easily distracted, as you might know.
I know I'm playing over here. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Oh, I haven't done that in a while. Let's check that.
Yeah. Why did it close? Why is it doing this to me?
How come my computer's going? Woo, woo, zzz, zzz?
yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
got an answer. Yeah, I've got an answer for that, Bill. It's Bill safe. Anyone with Bill in their name, you can't use it, mate. You can't use it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, I know you can't stay with us too long, so I'll try and jump straight into the topic tonight. I was doing a lot of thinking and reflecting on just like the last many years. Something hit me though a couple of days ago, and I kind of got that that sick feeling you get in your stomach when you have like a realization that things are a little bit more than they really seem.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome to my world. Are you kidding? No, I've been living with that for how 100 years? I don't know. How old am I?
Something like that, eh?
But-
Yeah. So
but,
we're going to talk about today. We're just going to talk about the nature of human consciousness and intelligence. And you were just about to say there, Jamie.
Well, I'm saying when you got this revelation, was your palms sweaty as well?
Well, it wasn't so. It was one of those like, I don't know, man. I felt rage at first, and then I was just like, wait, but like it's again, this is my fault too. So, what came to pass was all of this destabilization, all this instability that I've been noticing, and everyone's been noticing. Whether it's these rolling protests that go awry with provocateurs, or whether it's people getting canceled on Twitter, whether it's a group getting locked down for having a party, you know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever the case is, like there's just
Breathing.
there's almost like this perfect symmetry to this machine to like keep absolutely every single person distracted somehow. And then it dawned on me, I think AI's been guiding these people for ages. I think AI, because like this is a quantum issue, and something that quantum computers have been designed to do. Is they don't do 1 + 1 = 2 kind of questions. If you did that with a quantum machine, it would come up with the answer the same amount of time as a digital computer. No, these long, nuanced approaches where game theory applies. Game theory is the act of carrying out thousands upon thousands of simulations in a nanosecond to achieve a data set of results to draw behavior from and conduct new behavior. And this is the thing, is like, I think personally is I think this is what we're looking at, because it's almost as if like every time you turn around, there's another wall right there before you even get there. Like, and it's almost as if it's been perfectly like selected. Like the pathway with the least resistance to the ultimate domination of us is a quantum problem. Like that's a quantum machine algorithm to solve.
Yeah,
Well,
it
the way
comes
I-
down.
yeah.
It comes down to
It go-
this: the everything, period, end of story, is governed automatically anyway. Okay,
Right.
and there is no way to avoid it. There's no way to get around it. You can only go
No,
through it.
you can only smash head on into it, and that's going to be why the topic tonight is going to be about consciousness and the nature of consciousness. Because if they're using artificial superintelligence, the only thing that can counter that is our human consciousness.
Well, that's true because I'm always questioning the realities. Like when people say this is the reality, well, hang on a minute, that's your interpretation. My interpretation is I haven't seen it yet. I haven't investigated or researched or anything about it. So when somebody says it's reality in certain form, it's only up for a debate on your own interpretation until I actually see it myself. But you're right, Rob. Every corner that we turn or any obstacle that may come, it's like it's there for a purpose. How we go through that obstacle or how do we go over it or around it, we've got to start using common sense practice that we've been all taught. But this is the revelation that I see, that when we get distracted or whatnot and we're getting censored for doing what we call the right thing, maybe just a little bit of hindsight, maybe it's not the right thing, because this is a constant battle that we go every day. What is reality? And now we've got AI involved. We know that's not reality, but that's the way the world is leaning more towards against. And looks like our volume has dropped on Twitch.
I'm showing good levels on the meters here.
I've got a line on my bit right here.
Could this,
That could be
in your perception, Rob, is this more of like a Skynet type of scenario, like they're doing the long game?
No, this is more like the
Long
war
con,
games. This is more like Whopper, like war game style, or the Matrix even, because like maybe these scenarios are being played out, and the elitist types who are in possession of this type of technology have always used technology against their opposition. They always have. They've been known for this. It's like in every case, and that's why they dominate. That's why they dominate markets of Hollywood and of the music industry and the media,
Wall Street.
and Wall Street. Like, well, they print the money that the Wall Street fights over. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Right.
the very core fabric of every industry is designed in order to entrap people's consciousness. And while people's consciousnesses are ultimately being bushwhacked into submission, as they shut down, the AI, quantum computing system could basically start extrapolating, different scenarios and start coming up with what would happen if, and then play out millions of simulations based on current data sets, and then come up with what to do tomorrow. Like, oh well, you're gonna get because you got to remember, how is it getting? Well, what data is it working with? Well, okay, how does a deep fake work? A deep fake works by here's what we want to change, and here's what we want to change it into. Here's hundreds here's hundreds of pictures of this actor's face from different angles, different lighting, and what the computer starts to do is starts building commonality, trade indexes, color graphs, texture models, like all sorts of things that it starts to extrapolate from this to build a data set, and then looks at what you fed it and builds its representation of it. And that's how the artificial intelligence part of it works. It can do the same thing dealing with complex scenarios because it knows all the data. It knows that you just went to the store and bought bread. It knows that you haven't been to the store and bought bread in a week. Like it knows all of these like fuzzy metadata aspects of everybody's lives, building a constant growing and building human matrix. Like, and it's not just this was talked about back with Operation. What was it? Oh shit, the one with the green in it. What
Jade
the hell?
Helm.
Jade Helm. Thank you.
Yeah,
From.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking, you know, 'cause
Yeah.
that's why I raised my hand.
Yeah, and Jade.
You talk to level 9. She's talks about the jade and that whole thing. And
I am going to give her a call. I want to invite her onto our first official broadcast because that'll be happening very soon, within a week. We'll be doing our very first official show with all our bells and whistles, and hopefully we know how to use them. But that aside, yeah. This complex framework is not manageable by humans. And first off, let me just go and add to that 1% of society are these people. They are nothing without their toys. That's why they have them. You know, their technology should seem like magic to us. And I think this is what we're looking at. Like, I think again the you know, it is as above as it is below applies here, because they are totally taking the synthetic approach to the human consciousness answer by utilizing this kind of super intelligent AI, you know.
Well, just let's add on to that. The most advanced current, I'll say it again. The most advanced AI currently right now is from New Zealand. They just built a supercomputer this year called the NVIDIA DGX-A100, which is the first computer of its kind in New Zealand. Now, what a coincidence! You build a super computer, the most advanced AI technology in the world, but you put it in a country where no one really gives a damn about.
Right.
Away from the public domain, away from China and all of those type of things as well. But you put in an isolated island like Australia, right next door, called New Zealand. So the most advanced AI currently right now is a supercomputer that was built in New Zealand.
Yeah, and you know, we joked about this off the air, but that kind of reminds me of Superman 3. You know, they had the supercomputer kind of hidden away in a remote location. I think it was in the mountains or something when Superman had to go and battle the computer.
It might have been in the Grand Canyon. I'm not sure.
I think you're right. I think you're right. There's somewhere in Arizona or something. Yeah, that was that was so hokey. It was awesome. But I digress.
That particular Superman was the one that I was talking about, Christopher Reeves. That one I mentioned, my CIA friend Linus, who I always tell stories about. That is about the time that he met him. So, like Christopher Reeves was brand new. You know, he either never acted before or very little, like this was his first big gig or something. And so my friend Linus, he was there sitting down, and then you know, because he always did background, he was always in the background. Like,
well, Christopher Reeves wasn't a good actor, let's just be fair. He was okay, but he was okay. Yeah, like he could. I bet he could have rocked it in the soap opera industry if he just got his
right.
You know what I mean? Because he was a good-looking guy. I think he would have been capable to do those roles. But Superman was his jam, man. Like he just nailed it. Like he fucking nailed it. Like
right. But the thing about the story is that Christopher Reeve, he asked Linus if it was okay to sit with him.
Yeah, see,
like he's the star of the movie.
Was he Canadian by chance?
Not my friend Linus.
No. I mean Christopher Reeves. Was he Canadian? I can't.
No, I don't know. Actually,
I was just gonna say maybe he was Canadian, but no. Either he's just extra polite or completely submissive because he was told what his place was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he was like real skinny. They thought they'd give him a try, and if he worked out, and he did work out, and kind of bulked up enough, got strong
I
enough.
think
looking.
that's why he was believable as Clark Kent, because he had that
Yeah.
kind of that demure kind of I don't know, innocentness about him,
Yeah, I think that's why, right?
I
But
think
take-
that was a reflection of what he was like in real life, as far as I've seen. I've seen him in interviews. And he's very soft spoken. Like he doesn't have a brazen kind of a personality.
Right.
Even when he acts, when he's evil Superman, when he does that whole bit, I mean,
Yeah.
that is so hammy. Like I don't buy it. Like when he's acting
A
all.
lot of war. We could all do those damn jobs. So what? $1 million to read what? You just want me to make it sound a little mean? All right.
Yeah,
hey,
I'll be mean me this time.
Yeah.
I'll be bad Billy.
Yeah, but
Rob, going on from Christopher,
I was just going to
Green,
ask you about that computer. Like, see what I don't know, because I haven't read anything about it yet. But
okay, well, it basically, right. I'm just reading it now. I'm just going into it, right. So New Zealand installed the world's most advanced AI supercomputer. But remember back in 2018, the robot called Sophia.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever it is.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
here's the thing that I have to let people
who's
know
now
about,
like a
because
citizen.
that scared a lot of people, and then other people like, that just looks stupid, But
yeah.
the thing is though, is that at the time when that came out, when that was released, that particular unit took 3 people to operate it, like off camera.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, like, because it's revolutionizing so damn quickly, it'll make your head spin. Since then, now we've got dancing robots that can literally dance with the grace of a human being.
Yeah.
Literally, it's not even a euphemism. It literally dances as good as a human being. I'll pull up a video in a minute and show everyone. But here's the thing, though. When you take that mobility and you add that to the personality matrices that are now possible with, like, advanced autonomous, personalities and what have you. Like Google uses it all the time. Amazon uses it all the time. Google uses it all the time for like public support. Customer support. And public representation and what have you. And it's like, chances are, if you're just getting your serviced, then you probably won't even know that who the person that just handled you is completely like just a non-flesh and blood unit.
Right.
So I mean, we're already there, like on the practical side of it. I mean, even all of the geo mapping that's been done, primarily, a lot of those first generation cars that Google was using, those self-driving ones, those were basically repurposed Predator drone technology.
Right.
Oh yeah, right.
So like they were like the military industrial complex's hand-me-downs, basically.
Yeah.
That
To insider friends though.
Well, yeah. Well, here's a weird thing. Going back to the computer, because this is acting as a bit of a segue. Is that first off, I want to say about New Zealand. I've always said this, is that that's a place where they test out and like test drive policy. They test drive products like cellular networks. They test drive all sorts of things there. And I guess it's because they have like a microcosm, like they have their own little, self-contained society there. You know what I mean? Like in a small space, it's easy to manage.
Their own little bubble. But going on to that,
but that's what I'm saying. Hang on, I want to finish this. Is that the putting that supercomputer there? Now I have to know whether or not if it's a quantum computer or if it's just a regular digital computer, because the quantum computer is the important aspect. However, it doesn't have to be, because like I said, they could still be putting a supercomputer and announcing it and putting it there because get it into people's minds, because maybe that's where they're going to house the actual quantum machine.
Well, I'm just reading it now, and this is the information. So, New Zealand's most powerful supercomputer for artificial intelligence applications has been installed at the University of Waikato in New Zealand as part of its commitment positioning New Zealand as a world leader in AI research and development. Now, this is the NVIDIA DGX A100. It's the first computer of its kind in New Zealand and the world's most advanced system
NVIDIA.
for powering. So the machine can rapidly and effectively process massive amounts of data, allowing students and researchers at the university to process at lightning fast speeds, enabling machine learning and artificial intelligence that can solve problems from addressing climate change to managing biodiversity. So the system was supplied, now check this out, the computer system was supplied by Fujitsu, which is a Japanese company.
Yeah, Fujitsu would be making the chips for them.
Yeah. So the
They still make chips. I thought they all got destroyed and every factory broke down. And never mind. Sorry to interrupt, Jamie.
Yeah.
That was a joke though, because of cars and all that crap.
Yeah.
So the system was supplied by Fujitsu. The NVIDIA A100 Tensor Core GPUs featured in the DGX A100 system is designed specifically to accelerate the unique need for AI workloads, while NVIDIA Mellanox Infinity Band networking ensures that data can rapidly supplied to the system. The A100 GPUs enable data scientists and developers to perform a massive number of calculations all at once, and a key feature to the algorithms behind machine learning and artificial intelligence. The DGX A100 has 8 A100 GPUs containing 40 gigabytes of memory each, for a total of 320 gigabytes of GPU memory. When they all work together, they can process 5 quadrillion basic arithmetic operations per second.
Yeah. Okay, I'm reading here. I'm just looking at articles on DuckDuckGo here. Looking at NVIDIA and their involvement with quantum research. They have an actual software development kit called Q Quantum, which is basically kind of like for people who want to learn how to program a quantum computer but can't afford the $2.5 million price tag, or the space about the size of a cube van needed to operate it. Yeah, we're looking at an SDK that you can basically take it and at least learn the language for programming in the quantum state. Now, for people who are unaware of what that means, because it is kind of it's really, really hard to describe how it works, because they don't really know how it works. It just does, kind of deal. And they just have a good idea as to what's happening behind the scenes. And you know, it's kind of scary on one end, and on the other, it's kind of really fascinating. I'll have to admit. But here's how it basically works.
Telepathic too. I mean, seriously.
Pretty
soon it will be.
It would explain telepathy, actually, if to be more to the point. It would actually explain how telepathy might work. And
I was just talking to a guy last night who's going to be my guest next week about basically someone he knew set up a system that recycles information as it's changing, and that's how I put it, because that's what I planned on doing on these little robots that ran around like they were real animals that were conscious.
I know what you're talking about. There was the little tiny algorithmic creatures that basically exist as like a dot, but so many dots could exist next to each other, and if there's X number that aren't, you know what I mean, that aren't there, then it'll grow one.
I'm talking about real robots.
I'm talking about the programming though that goes into them, and like it's like a game theory kind of a setup where you have like a dot, but it lives there with rules. So after X number of frames or cycles, the dot will die based on criteria. So it'll die if it only has X number of dots around it. But if there's another number of dots around it on the other side, let's say, then it'll grow a dot. And then that dot will have a lifespan. And then it'll kind of keep cycling. And then these things end up creating these weird formulations. Some of them die off almost immediately. And then others, they turn into these
respond to conscious. Yeah, but those, I was just told, do respond to consciousness like they're telepathic. And
well, this is kind of the we're kind of reaching the meat and potatoes of where we want to go with this. But I'll just ask the question for now rather than jump into it, because we can still go on about what there is with the quantum relationship. But I think the consciousness is a measurable thing. I think it's a quantifiable and very measurable force. No different than gravity, no different than electricity. Now, guys, anyone listening, I'm way out in wacky left tinfoil hat territory here, but I'm just asking the question because it's something we might have to start considering as scientifically anyway as possible. Because
I got to go in a couple of minutes, but basically it comes down to this. There's no such thing outside of consciousness.
No.
I mean, there's no such thing outside of the mind, at least subconsciously. And everything relates, and the purpose of everything and the cause of everything is consciousness. So what I'm saying is there are no computer atoms or electrons or energy anythings that aren't happening for the purpose of the result being, or the connection and association to some kind of thought, feeling, emotion, or pain, or any kind of joy, period.
Mm-hmm.
And the mere fact that it exists already implies there's consciousness. And it doesn't, the only difference is what actually is its shape and what is its path that it's taking on if it's in motion. And the difference of the result of consciousness and outcome will be based on the shape and the function. So
that explains the burning. That explains the burning motivation behind religion and what have you, like, and faith.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, we are the only thing that exists. Only thought exists, and we have a destiny. And when we were emerged into consciousness or into being, it was already it was going to forever. It was always a guarantee. It was going to happen sometime, someplace. And we have a guaranteed perfection of outcome.
Is there, do you think, is there like a nexus where other consciousnesses would kind of intersect with our own? Or are they a different thing? Are we maybe not even truly acting out our own impulses? Like, are we acting out the impulses of another consciousness that exists through us?
Well, yeah, we're all connected and we're all at different levels. So there has to be a rule on how do we merge.
How does it work? That's, And I think, you know what? I think that therein lies the secrets, like in quantum, like quantum telepathy, teleportation, remote viewing. I think all of these things have something to do with the quantum world. I think that's that's the next big frontier for us.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, thanks for the invite. I see we had some of the other invites. Nice to meet you. Is it Keith?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey,
I'm
Keith. How you
Keith.
doing?
Or George McFly.
Or George McFly.
Yeah. Yes, he was always our density.
Our density. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Our destiny. Our destiny.
My density.
Fate. All right. I hope to be able to be awake enough in the future. If I ever get a real life and a home, if I survive this year at all or this month, maybe I'll be on all.
Well,
however long.
When I get more braver and we have our first official podcast, it'll be earlier when more people can watch it. That's why I do these so late.
But don't
That's
forget
the secret.
That's right.
But don't forget, Bill, massive show tomorrow, man. Massive show.
That's Bill. Hey, tell everyone where to find you.
All right, tomorrow.
Well, I might be doing 2 shows now. I did another. Jamie, I didn't know you were giving me messages. I knew you sent something, but I found out another host did definitely quit, and I wanted the slot. But I filled in as a temp anyway, either way.
Well, hey, you can get any time slot you want over on EPGN Radio, so you just let me know, and I'll set you up.
Okay, I'll need a little more practice, see if my computer stays working, and if I have a home, definitely, man, you got it. But
well, work on that home. Work on getting that over your head, that roof.
Well, you can come on my show, Bill. It's no problem. You can be my special.
You're always invited.
Thanks, guys. It's awesome, but yeah, and you guys will be back in my show. I have to get kind of over what the other people I already planned though for a long time, and let them on, and other friend hosts. We usually have a group of us that get on, and it already gets full. But I definitely, absolutely want you guys on, and you will be repeat guests over time for me as well. And who knows, maybe get
Awesome.
a little gematria talk going there too. Get you on.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
you guys,
I have a question. Where did you like come from gematria world? How did you pick that up?
I
Where'd it come from?
theorized that it existed as a child, and I had planned on unraveling it and figuring it out myself. However, I've been knocked down and tossed around and kicked around by the goddamn governors of the universe, let's say,
Yeah.
and possibly even evil Superman for all I know. But it comes down to this. Eventually, I kept hearing things about it, and I knew it existed. And I know it's not the final math, final geometry, but it's definitely up there, right on that fine line, which will be very beneficial to all of us to unravel. And
Have you checked out my database?
I'm not sure. I've listened to and checked out. I have saved databases of my own from the station owner Nighthawk, who died on Revolution Radio as well. And it comes down to this. I'm sure it does work in many or most instances, and possibly even every instance, right? If we really understand it. But I look at life as we are on our personal quantum level of advancement, whatever that may be, and our intentions, our consciousness level, speaking of consciousness, we already have a fate, and we have to tweak out the best we can out of this life and make the most of it no matter what. We are guaranteed to fail or guaranteed to succeed depending on our exact position between imperfection and our goal of perfection.
And we're also guaranteed to die.
Right, and I don't need to really necessarily know gematria, as long as what I'm doing is the right thing to do. It's going to work, or it's going to not work, no matter what I want, whether I know that or not.
I think with gematria, that has pretty much it has a subtle relationship in the sense that it is utilized by the powers that be. However, it could also lead to maddening frustration and obsessive behavior.
And it might get you money in bets that you don't deserve. Oh yeah, sorry to interrupt, but it might get you things you really will regret later. Like, let's say we use it to win the game. Every time we get rich, we blow the money, we do more drugs. Maybe some of us won't. Some of us will just be cocky and arrogant. We just won't advance. Yeah, we'll get what we wanted. It will benefit us, but it will be a disbenefit for those who, just like the super rich. They're super rich.
But the benefit of that is you realize that it's rigged and it can be played.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But you also get out what you put into it. I'm a firm believer. You put good stuff into things. It might not come back the way you want it to come back, but it'll come back in a way that that's fair.
I think that as a person that studies gematria, you would find my database very resourceful. I made it for people like.
I would like that, and I do believe I and everyone should master it in any case, and use it, of course, for good. And eventually, all things are supposed to become part of us where we don't need to think about it. Like when we're learning how to be a fighter or a dancer or skilled at something, it's hard at first, and we have to focus. We use it, and we start to get good, and all right, oh, I like that. Oh, that move worked good, and it makes you feel good. And you feel it out. Eventually, it's second nature. And that is how everything has to be. It has to become built into our conscious where it automatically applies.
Where it's recognized, yeah. I mean, if we did that, then the powers that be that do use it for bad and evil activities, we'd be able to just suss them out and notice them a lot faster. And see, they will have no power.
Well, I've noticed repeating patterns. They use I mean, in my opinion, they use repeating patterns associated with the calendar.
Yeah.
So if you just follow those same patterns, you can pinpoint what they're going to do before they do it.
Yeah.
See, that sounds to
And
me.
essentially,
It sounds like a timing
they tell
clock.
you about what they're going to do before they do it, because it's ritual, and ritual is all in the same element of doing it at the same time, the same date, with the moon at a certain.
It's like a timing
thing in the
circuit.
sky.
It's like a timing circuit where the circuit tells like a writing operation when it's the right time to write to write, and then the function happens, right? Then it's the same kind of.
And they
thing.
telegraph it with the whole news and media and entertainment.
Yeah. So there's a pulse. There's a pulse of constant code coming out, and people that know the code can basically follow the code and know when to extract messages from it.
Yeah.
I like to do like a memory game. I like to figure out which words are associated with what numbers.
It might have been Billy that said it. It might have been Billy that said it, but you said something off the air about the Illuminati Easter egg hunt. Was that you, Bill, that talked about that the other day?
No, I'm the one that.
No, I know you said it off the air earlier, but I remember I said a friend of mine just said it. Yeah, I was just trying to track down.
Oh, maybe it was him. That's a good point. Was it you?
I haven't said that recently like that, but I have said things like that, like it. No, not exactly that.
I literally created a game and made a ruling and everything. So you get this many points for this one, you get that many points for that one. It's like. And it's supposed to annoy your friends, because they're not aware of the Illuminati.
Yeah.
So you sit there and you go, "Oh, that's 5 points. Look, there's a pyramid." It's all stuff in the background.
But I want to make a video. I want to make a short film, a little mini, nice little thing for kids where it's Easter egg time and the kids get let out in the park and the sunny day to go look for their Easter eggs, and one finds one, another finds one, and there's another happy child, and the next one sees a big one laying behind the tree or in the bushes, and he bends down to get it. It's his happy day, and and the Easter egg eats him.
Nice.
It swallows him whole.
That's dark. That's super dark.
But the Easter egg is an egghead and grows up to save the world with quantum computers. All right, thanks, guys, and I hope to be back pretty damn soon.
Cool, dude.
Pleasure seeing you again, or hearing your voice again.
Oh yeah, you too.
And take care of yourself, eh? Don't do anything we wouldn't do.
Not as often, anyway.
Yeah, tomorrow night, Bill.
I learned last night that this is supposed to be like a pussy.
Yeah. Yes, tomorrow night, Jamie. You got it. I'll be there.
Tomorrow.
You got it.
Well,
peace, brother.
I'm going to say it now because it's the new week here. It's Monday here in Australia, so I know this is a test run, Rob, but I know there's people watching on Twitch and whatnot.
Oh, that's cool.
The big surprise for this week is tomorrow episode, guys. Tomorrow episode here, 12:30 p.m. Adelaide time, which is 10 p.m. Eastern time for the American listeners, and 7 p.m. for the Eastern Standard Time for the American Canadian listeners. Dr. Julia Markovich will be on this show. She has been highly censored from every single platform you can name of. She has also worked alongside, at one point of time, Dr. Anthony Fauci. She's been whistleblowing everything about the vaccines and COVID and everything like that. So she's written 3 books. She's just finished her 4th one, and she's coming on Southern Truths tomorrow. Dr. Julie Markovich, the very first Australian person who has spoken to her over the course of the pandemic. I'm not the first Australian who ever spoken to her, because like I said, she has written books and whatnot, but according to this person, I am the first Australian person to speak to her on a podcast or show from Australia over the course of the pandemic. So tune in tomorrow, Dr. Julie Markovich.
Now you're the first person to talk about talking to her on a test show.
Possibly, if we can, yeah, talking about her.
It's a
on
lot of
test
firsts today. It's a lot of firsts.
Well,
But,
here's the thing. I want to go back to what we are just talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
With the common sense and reality and everything like that. I think.
Well, you should explain what common sense is, because like the kids growing up these days, they don't know.
Common. Yeah, you're right.
Well, the thing is, like, it goes back to what is reality or not, because many people have been deluded, and I want to say the word.
And that's what I mean by consciousness being turned off. So like the more lights that are being shut off, you know, if each person was a light, let's say, and you shut each one of those lights off, it would start getting a lot darker, a lot quicker. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what's happening. It's like people are being switched off, and their consciousness is just being led rather than being made. Like, so, like, how can I mean, like a radio receiving a signal all the time and just getting like a pulse, like a drone. You know what I mean? It's just a beacon.
Well,
and they're just responding to it. Instead of being the transmitter.
Sorry for interrupting, but
No
that's
worries.
a question I've been asking myself and certain other people that close by me. Have certain people been conditioned this way to not be able to face reality, but be able to catapult themselves to a far different dimension?
I think the technology, like the iPads, the mobile phones, these smartphones and shit, the kids have one of those in their hands by the time they're like 4 years old. Like by the time they're poking their finger around, they can already use a touch screen. You know what I mean? And it's, like I remember my one of my friend's kids was able to ask for something with the iPad before she learned how to speak. Like, I mean, if you think about that for a second,
that's crazy.
Isn't that insane? Like, I mean, it's like the monkey. Like, basically, you know, the monkey they taught to operate the screen for a tasty little banana treat. Yeah. Well, that's high level monkey learning. This kid did it like by the time, like, I don't know, the age of like 5 months old, 6 months, not 6 months old, but 7 or 8 months old. Like, was able to like communicate through the fucking that's just mind boggling.
My daughter was like that back when she was born. She was born in 2007.
Yeah.
By at least that Christmas, like, she was only like 3 months old. She knew how to lock an iPad, lock a smartphone, but yet she can unlock.
Well, she knew how to lock you out of it. No, I'm just joking.
No, she locked everybody out of it. But that's the point.
Hacker baby.
She knew how to go into any freaking device, whether it's computer, iPad, phone, and completely lock it, like completely stuff the whole thing up. You can't get into it.
Yeah.
You give it back to her within 5 minutes. Everything's back and running. It's like, are you from this dimension, girl? I'm the one that had sex with your mother. She's the one that had labor. You came out. I cut the umbilical cord. You are human, but you don't. Your mind is completely well advanced than I can ever imagine. But here's the thing too. There's an upside and there's a downside. The downside is, does anyone actually interact with another human being now, rather than sitting at a freaking phone and text messaging that same person who is 5 meters away from you?
Yeah.
And you don't have interaction with people anymore. I mean, what we're doing here is great, because this is the upside. We can talk like this. But you go back 40 years ago, we never had this.
Yeah. I remember when I was working construction there, I was taking the city bus, and right around the time I got off work was right around the time they were getting out of school, and I'd have to hear these yippy little buggers like the whole way, just they sound like quail, like just noisy little things making noises, and but they're on their phones though. Like, you know, look at this, and then they're texting each other. Like, it's almost like there's a second layer of communication, like, that's happening. Like, it's almost like a sub communication layer. Like, so,
Right.
and it's really bizarre because it's patterning the way that their brains are storing and recalling information. Because I'll tell you, 90% of the information isn't even being retained by the human in question here, because it's on these devices.
Right.
So, like, instead of learning the information, what they're doing is categorically learning the information seeking and pulling the data. That's the skill that they're learning. So, and it's definitely not processing, because right now their delicate minds are really just processing on the level of horny teenager. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's not thinking on all cylinders, obviously. I mean, Christ, I'm almost 50 and I'm not thinking on all cylinders. So, I mean, I can't blame them. But at the same time, though, it's just really bizarre to see this entirely different breed of human. Like, it's a completely different generation.
Especially the last 10 to 15 years, this new generation, even my daughter, she's born into that generation, has transpired and configured into that new world. I mean, when we went to school, we had to learn from the encyclopedia. If we want to research something, we have the encyclopedia.
You bloody had to know how to read.
Yeah. But see, now, we've got a question, a very good point here in the chat room on Twitch from Zadikin, who is Scott, who is a regular follower of Southern Truth and EPGN Media as well. Zadikin said this: there's a divergence in consciousness. One group is devolving, the other group is evolving, and that's a problem.
Yeah, and that's precisely what I mean by getting switched off. It's kind of like that game Othello, you know, where you got to get all, you know, you either have to get all the white sides of the coin kind of thing, and convert the other one. You got to convert the other side, and like there's certain moves you can do. And so it's almost as if like all of the.
Me of that episode.
I was just gonna say all the pieces are like black. Like, you know what I mean?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that episode of Next Generation where they had the de-evolving people.
Yeah, and you know, and I think in that show it was like a computer virus or something that was able to turn into
There's something they picked up. That Riker picked up from like a virus.
Riker gets like space herpes and all kinds of stuff. He
from a like, I don't know, away team thing.
Yeah.
And he went down.
He's always
to the
picking
planet.
up bugs. But
well, that's the thing, because there's always an upside and a downside when it comes to any form of technology or any form of lifestyle. I say more negative than the positive in this spectrum.
Well, and for what it's being used for, absolutely. See, like, I think like our generation, like, we still went outside and played. We still, climbed trees, ran around in creeks and bushes, and got hurt, and threw fireworks at each other. All the good stuff. Like, we did all that shit, and that level of human touch, that intimacy, is really what's going to affect this next generation the most. And like, what they're getting right now is not the way it's supposed to be. It's that simple. And that again, see, that intimacy, that like touching, that creates that's where the compassion comes in. That's where like understanding and like taking a moment. That's where all of these actions kind of stem from, and if that gets taken away, all that's left is you become an input device. You just start receiving stuff, you know what I mean? And then your attitudes change. You start thinking that you should just get stuff. You just start thinking that I'm the important one. It's like the difference between feeding a cat and feeding a dog. I always laugh about this, because you feed a dog, he thinks you're God. If you feed a cat, it thinks it's God. That's kind of the dichotomy here to think about.
That's true. That is true. But the other thing I want to make a point too is this new generation. Well, I'm going this 15-year bracket here, 15-year bracket, close to 20-year bracket. This generation, they're not creative. You know what I mean? They don't make things. They don't design things. Anything, but they've got this other technology to do it all for them.
Yeah,
anything
they could make with their hands pales in comparison to like what they have on an iPad, or like, because it doesn't take any work, and that's the problem. I think is that work is not being revered so much. Like, I mean, like builders get this all the time because like. I know companies here in town that like have been building for like 30, 40 years. Like, so much of this place wouldn't be here if it weren't for some of these people. You know what I mean? Like, and you start to think of it on those terms and levels. Even the assistant who just showed up and piled and stacked wood and took nails out of wood. You know what I mean? Like that guy had a part to play in this. And the kids, I don't think they're seeing that. What they're seeing is successful people. They're seeing successes on Instagram, which is all fake. Like these people are actors basically. They're the new generation of acting. Like, it's a different type.
But to them though, Rob, that's their reality. They think
that's
and
right.
They on that 24/7. Okay, I'm exaggerating. Maybe not 24/7, but
24/6.
They. Well, I can. Okay, well, let's do it. Let's give them 24/7. But they think that life is reality. You're trying to take that.
Well, at least their followers do.
Well, but it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. Easy come, easy go. But the thing is, that's their reality. It's the same the way that YouTube is working right now. You can do a drama video on YouTube. Yeah. You get thousands and thousands of hits, but if you're talking about quote unquote reality,
the original creators of YouTube are so far away and removed from this whole thing now. Like what they started was a great thing initially. Like its original vision, I guess you could say, was really good. I mean, it was something that created a collective, which is, in my opinion, is also part of the sly plan, because what they did is they made it seem like it's this universal place of informational freedom and togetherness and stuff, but really it's a domination tactic. What it is, it's a way to micromanage and monitor every single human activity, and that's exactly what they're doing. You don't need your neighbors to really snitch on you, because your phone is snitching on you 24/7. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. Even if you do turn your location device off your smartphone,
it doesn't matter.
If you've got a Google account, right, which I've got a Gmail account for my email, you turn your locations off. It's still a tracking device.
It doesn't even turn it off completely. What it does is it disables it in software. Right, it's still got hardware connections. So any of the subsystems in the operating system can ping. It can still ping, like, and geolocate the device by pinging off other servers, off your data provider, off of your wireless access points. Like, it's always constantly communicating. That's one of the things I think. That's one of the reasons I think that they took the removable battery option away. I think because now you keep it on all the time, motherfucker. Like, you can go in and disconnect it.
I've experienced, not personally, but like a friend of mine actually experienced that when they were hiding in the bushes with their phone. They're like trying to run from the cops. The cops still found them because they tracked that shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They got a backdoor right in. Android does it. iPhone does it.
And not only that, look at the computers now. I mean, remember back when Windows used to have a tower where you had your motherboard. That now it's all inbuilt. Now it's the same as the Apple. It's all inbuilt. You don't need to change the battery or change the motherboard or anything. It's all inbuilt. Yeah, and that's the way smartphone is. I mean, I remember when I first got me a cell phone. It was a Nokia 5110. This was back in 2000, 2001. Every 3 months you're changing the battery. Now you don't. You're changing your freaking phone charger every 3 months because it's
because the thing quits on you because they're made like shit in China. Yeah, no, but that's the thing too, right? Is that, like, there's a few things that work there. Lithium batteries have gotten, like, on a factor of like 10 better since, like, just even 3-4 years ago. Oh, excuse me. But more to that, as the battery technology is getting better, everything else is getting smaller. Moore's law, that determines the size of your processor, or not the size, sorry, the number of transistors in your processor. has slowly now come to a creeping halt because you just can't, like, there's some of the transistors in some of these designs are about 7 atoms across. Like, you can't get much smaller than that. You know what I mean? Like, when an actual electron has to travel from point A to point B, and the road is about an electron thick, I mean, you know, you're not going to get to me. Actually, that's impossible because you actually need the atoms, because it has to transfer from valence shell to valence shell on its path. So you need atoms. But I mean, yeah, any less than 7, you get what's called basically subatomic migration of particles, and that's going to cause failures.
This takes me to another direction.
But sorry. The finish to that though is that's made our devices so incredibly small that they're almost impossible to manufacture without making them completely integrated systems. Taking a sound card out of an old school computer was like, you know, my jam. I love doing that shit. It was like, you know, I'm not a mechanic, but I was like, that's kind of mechanic like, you know, when you're dealing with parts and tools and all that kind of shit. Now, I mean, you pretty much need a hot air workstation, soldering system, and a fucking microscope, just to be able to do this stuff. And I mean, that's literally how you do it. There's some great resources if you want to learn how to do it.
While we're on artificial intelligence, do you think we'll go full swing driverless cars? Because I know here in Australia they tested it. They tested that out, but if you go out in the outback in the middle of summer here and have a driverless car, I don't think it'll be superficial. It cannot work.
Hang on. This is what people have to wrap their head around, because I see exactly where you're approaching this from. Is that people are thinking that because it's not a human behind the wheel, that it can't react to things that are outside of the road. Well, here's how the system operates, okay? Remember us talking about data sets and machine learning? All of the Tesla vehicles that drive on the streets are constantly recording all of the sensor data and all of the driver responses to events that take place. Now, certain events are registered as, like, let's say you have a sudden shift and change in G-forces, meaning that they've either done a weird swerve or they've hit the brakes. Well, all of those factors before and after are recorded, logged, and then included in game theory simulation style. Many hundreds and thousands of simulations by the AI system to update the driverless car
I'm not talking about
response code.
I'm not talking.
But hang on. I'm getting there. I have to say this.
But I'm not talking about a physical person behind the wheel. I'm talking about
I know what you're saying. I'm getting to that. I'm getting to the driverless car part. I'm saying that all of that information is being recorded and logged for the driverless system to incorporate into its data set. So then, instead of, like, it's not going to look at the road and just go, I'm on a road, I'm going south, oh my God, construction site, panic. No, it's not going to work like that. It's literally going to respond to visual data and refer to a database and a memory. It's going to work on, it's kind of like how the deep fake system works and how it creates something from scratch. It's the same kind of thing. It's creating the experience in real time as it's driving, and when it encounters something, it's going to rely on its information that it has. So the more information it gets, the better it's going to be at it, and also the more it can train to be better at it inherently. So we're there. We are there. Like, we are literally there right now. Like, we could totally do it. I think they're going to be dispatching. They're going to have fleets of transport vehicles in the year.
Yeah. But I truly believe the battery of these driverless cars fundamentally will work in the outback. In the city, maybe.
They're working in Arizona. They're working in the hottest places in the United States. I think they'll have no problem. The way that the batteries are designed and made by Tesla now are super thick. Like, it's badass. Like, how they're doing it now. Like, they're so much better.
They were trying to put Holden was a manufacturing car here in Australia that was owned by General Motors, right?
Right.
GM. Well, we shut our manufacturing plants down 6 years ago. We don't make any cars here in Australia.
Right.
However, that manufacturing plant for Holden, it's an old Holden. Tesla was supposed to buy that out, right? But that didn't fall through, right? We do have the Tesla battery chargers here in the city, and some other gas stations have. Those Tesla battery chargers, I'm telling you, I'm being honest, they're not going to work in the outback due to the fact every 200 odd kilometers, it's a roadhouse on the Nullarbor. In the Nullarbor here, there's only a roadhouse every 200 odd kilometers apart from each other. There's not enough ports to charge your battery.
Well, I mean that kind of extremity. I mean, you have to have access to power. I mean, it's not designed to. I mean, if I was just living in the North Pole, I mean, I'm not going to buy a fucking Tesla. Like I'd be silly to, right? You know what I mean? Like, mind you though, the way that they react and respond in cold versus hot climates, I mean, is they're way better than they ever used to be anyway. And they've literally changed like some of the chemical properties of the lithium battery for their purposes, and they've really done a massive push in making these things easier to make, B, easier to incorporate into the vehicles. In fact, the batteries themselves are part of the structural design now, and that's awesome because that means then they're going to have like the same rugged, like they're not going to be bouncing around inside the vehicle. They are the vehicle, and that's kind of cool.
I thought this whole process is going to be about like where you don't get to own the car. It's going to be like kind of a taxi service that you're going to have to pay for.
Oh, they'll get to that. They'll do that eventually. For sure they will. Once the driverless cars are a thing, and that'll happen. That'll happen for sure.
Like an Uber that's like driverless.
Yeah. Well, say the Victorian government, this is just brought to me, to my mind. The Victorian government here in Australia were talking about increasing the premiums of car insurance for Victorians once, like they're even doing it now, but once they go full driver by 2030, they want no petrol cars on the road.
Of course.
Right? So petrol is
raise your insurance premiums if you get, because we don't trust your driverless car, but we'll let you on the road anyway and charge you a fucking shitload for it. You'll see that. You'll see that. That's opportunistic. Of course you'll see that.
And that'll stop people from actually using that service, and those people will never go anywhere.
Well, here's another thing too.
By the way, I wanted to correct Gematria database. That's not Uber, by the way. That's Johnny Cab. Come on now, get it right.
Of course.
But what they also want to do too, I know they're trying to do it here in Australia in the capital cities, not in the rural suburban areas, but in the cities. They want to have a perimeter around the city that you don't drive into the city at all. The only way you can get into the city if you catch public transport, including taxi or bus or whatnot. But they want to put like a 10 kilometer, well, at first it was a 5 kilometer radius, but they want to literally make it a 10 kilometer radius square around the city. So no transportation, like your own vehicle, it can go into the city.
That's part of the Agenda 2030 plan in their documents on their website.
Reading my mind.
Yeah, if people want to go and check this out, they have plans to build mega cities. The first thing they're going to do is build walls around them, and then they're going to build them upwards and downwards. They're going to go into the ground and they're going to go up into the sky. And
they've telegraphed that in like with media, well, not media, like entertainment.
Yeah,
right.
One of the they
like
definitely
that
have.
show, The Colony.
Yeah, they've also started the marketing for these like shoebox style living units that are kind of like storage containers that are like Lego. They click in and out of supporting structures. So moving would be like putting your place onto a truck, moving it to its destination, and plugging it into the building, and you've moved.
They're already doing that here. They're already doing
Yeah.
it here in Australia.
Yeah, I think that's where I've seen the practical usage of that. When
Yeah.
they built a whole line of them and sold them to rich people, didn't they, or something, or to hipsters
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah, or say I've always said this: the new
Damn
World Order
hipsters.
camp, the new World Order campground is definitely in Australia. Just have a look. I mean, you're talking about moving a house on a flatbed truck, and you can transport it from one destination to. That's been around here for the last 20 years. You can do that.
So imagine this now. Imagine this. You're just so damn fat because all you do is play VR in your friggin' shoebox all day, and you're just a fatty
Wall-E.
McFattison, and you're just a fatty McFatterson, and you just kind of you can't even move around. But fuck it, you know what? You just move your shoebox.
Well, they've already trying to take away certain. Well, I've just read an article over the weekend at the grocery store where you get your meat. There's a certain section when you get your meat. They're going to stop that. They're going to take that away. So the only way you're going to get meat now is if you go to your local butcher. You've been to a local butcher lately? You've seen the prices on beef, lamb, and so forth? They're skyrocketing.
Oh,
the
shit.
Only,
Yeah, no, even here,
they've
like, I
already-
mean, in BC, this is like, we got lots of like agriculture. Like, this is like one of the agricultural capitals of Canada, and along with Ontario, you know what I mean? Like, all of the West is like big on farming, and yet meat is so bloody expensive here. It's incredible. Like, for a steak, you're looking at, like, for a good quality, a good, nice, thick, good chunk of steak, you're looking at about $28 for a good piece of steak. Like, you know, something you'd eat with, like, you know, yeah, this is good. You want a cheap, fast fry steaks, you're still looking at $6-7 a piece. Like, it's just insane.
Yeah, well, see, Shay and I just, like, I know there's only two of us, but yeah, I do have a daughter. She's with my previous partner. But anyway, besides the point, we don't get a kilo. I mean, $27 a kilo just for a freaking ground beef, and I'm saying, Shay, just get 250 grams. All right, 250 grams worth of ground beef. It's about, well, you can get anywhere between $7 to $9, but
Yeah.
20, like, you're buying a kilo. Over in America, you buy it by the pound, but if you buy a kilo of beef now, you're paying anywhere up to $32 a kilo.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've always said this: get yourself a gamer hunting license here. If you're in Australia, get yourself a gaming hunting license and go and hunt for your food.
Yeah.
Go out and shoot a wild boar, and you can have plenty of fucking meat for
Not only that, the skills involved in whether you're hunting actively or you're trapping or you're fishing, but the biggest thing is the preparation of the animal. Like, people need to learn these skills. They need to learn how to use all the parts of the animal. Like, we got to start going back to some real basics, because, like, the people in the cities are screwed already. There's no way they're going to get these skills or even acquire them if they don't have them already. But
Exactly. Well, I live in the city. I know we can't hear you, Rob.
yeah, no, I just stopped talking because I thought you were trying to get through.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. I live in the city, but I've also spent a lot of quality time in the country, and I've always said this, and hit me with some left and right hooks, gentlemen, but I've been saying this since last year when the pandemic first started. This is going to be a 7-year trial. This is just the first section, the first fucking trial. It's going to be a 7-year plan, and then it goes into full swing after that, right? Now, you can say what you can say, Agenda 2030, but I reckon the Agenda 2030 is going to start at least, give or take, 2028/2029. It's going to start there. What they're doing right now, they're just giving you bits and pieces and snapshots of what is about to come until they turn up the volume and just say, all right, here it all is.
Yeah.
Right?
It's almost like, okay, if I was thinking tactically, like strategically, I would go after all the low-hanging fruit first and see if I can get them on board, get the numbers, get the sheer numbers up, get get as many people aligned with, the opposition as possible. And because eventually people are going to freak out. And when they do, I mean, they're not going to have a leg to stand on if they haven't already developed a huge, significant force of people as cannon fodder, literally.
They're already poisoning your water. They're
Yep.
already poisoning your food that you plant or whatnot. So if you know how, like I'm in the processing, I'm making my own greenhouse with a roof over it. I'm planting my own fruit and veggies.
Yeah.
They're not going to be sprayed by any chemicals from the sky or geoengineering. Not going to do that. I'm going to have my own greenhouse with my fruit and veggies, because this is going to be devastating for most people in my community when your grocery stores are literally right now they're already taking away the meat. The next thing they're going to take away is the fruit and veggies. Start growing. If you know how to grow your own fruit and veggies, start doing it right now, because by the time they flip the switch on full swing and you freak out and say, why didn't I know about this? Start listening to these type of shows. Zadikin said check out his recent survival show on his Twitch channel. We will, man.
We will. Maybe we'll invite him onto the show coming up.
Yeah, he's just getting himself a microphone. He doesn't have a microphone yet, but he's working. Yep,
right on.
Getting that.
But more to that, like the UK, most places in the UK, they've outlawed growing, like they've outlawed outdoor gardens. I'm pretty sure that building residences, they've also outlawed hanging gardens, like people who have those hanging gardens on their balconies. Rain collection, like you can't collect the rain.
The rainwater. Yep.
Yeah. Like it's unbelievable. Like how the fuck do you outlaw collecting rain, like rainwater collection? Like that is got to be the most insane.
That's crazy.
Like what?
But it's very telling. It makes you think that
what are the motivations?
They don't
why
want
would they do that?
To examine the rain.
It's like, it's for your own health because it's dirty. Well, thanks for looking out for me. Fuck off,
Yeah.
And when you're telling us it's dirty, that's what we're saying is the geoengineering. It's like low.
But and I don't want to spread too much fear here, but the whole thing about the genetically modified foods, people have to get over this because it's too bad, so sad. It's already been done. Pandora's out of the fucking box. Almost all the crops worldwide are already contaminated by genetically modified grains and plants and what have you. It's already happened. They've cross-pollinated.
They lost that
It's
war.
part of the ecosystem now. We've lost that war. People keep using this like, it's GMO free. Yeah, well, you know what? Probably not. Probably not. Even if it's an isolated garden, it's still probably not. Pollen can survive in the atmosphere for days, months, years, eons before it even hits the ground again. So,
but that's another thing too.
It's just it, yeah.
You know, let's say, these activist groups, right? When it's animal rights, so you can't kill an animal, therefore you turn vegan. Fuck off.
Yeah,
you
don't go out just killing animals. Like I want. That's another thing I want people to get through their minds, because I know. But the thing is the people that don't hunt, that don't know what it is, they have no problem going to the store and grabbing a hunk of beef or something. But they don't know how that beef gets to the store. They've never killed an animal. The thing is that we're not talking about just going out and just ruthlessly going around and killing animals. No, it's an intimate thing that you're doing there. Like you're literally taking a life. And it's going to provide a source of food, nutrients, and perhaps even usefulness. Like anybody who, I would anyway. Like if I were to kill an animal for food, I would use absolutely every part of that animal, from its hide all the way down to its bones. Like it's just that's
the
what you
Native
do.
American way.
Yeah,
and that's the way you should. And that's the way it should be.
That's respect. That's respect for the life that you've taken. And believe me, it's not a good feeling. It's a feeling like it's this very personal thing, and it's not something that you do in excess. You never take more than you need. And like if people just understood that simple value, there's nothing like stocking up. You can stock up and but like I said again, it's all about respect for where that food is coming from. And unfortunately, the image that's being sent out by a lot of these slaughterhouses and these big grocery chains and what have you, they don't have that same connection with the food. They don't. They literally don't. They're not just selling you food. They're also selling you the toxicity of that killing.
It's also abuse. There's these things are abused before they're killed.
Well, that comes back down to the fishing market too. I mean, here in South Australia, they're trying to make it that you buy a license to go and fish, even recreational fish, right? Because, and this is not being racist, right? But the Asian people, or the Asian community, when they catch something, they'll catch anything, how big or small.
They'll eat anything. It doesn't matter if it swims, flies, crawls, digs. They'll eat anything.
And what it does is depopulates the population of that particular species of fish in that region. And that's why they put a blanket ban 2 years ago. It finished next year.
Mm-hmm.
We can't take home any snapper. We've got a snapper ban. So basically what they want, if you catch a snapper, you got to release it, and then you got to relocate from that area you caught that snapper.
Right. See,
but yeah,
I was just gonna say, like with the regulation aspect, like it's a double-sided coin, because like if it's a protected species or whatever, I can understand it. But the reverse happens too. Like when you get an overpopulation, like we have a wolf problem here in Canada, and you get these bleeding heart groups like, oh no, you can't be killing the wolves. You can't kill the wolves. They're wild fucking animals. And if there's fucking wolves coming down, they're going to attack my family or go through my garbage and cause a threat. Wolves getting shot. That's that simple.
Yeah. That was the same here in Australia not long ago when we had this massive crisis with freaking kangaroos.
Didn't you have a problem with feral like rabbits or something?
We did have rabbits as well. The myxomatosis virus. Yep.
Yeah, I remember you had a big problem with, and they were like Canadian rabbits or something. Like they were like American that were brought over. They were feral, I believe.
We had a culling of rabbits. I mean, you can buy rabbits at the butcher too. But here's the thing: people are saying, "Oh, don't kill a rabbit," or "Don't don't
kill a bunny."
Or don't kill the kangaroo. I mean, I'm just saying it outright. Australia is the only country in the world where we eat our coat of arms, the kangaroo and the emu.
I would eat a kangaroo. I'd eat a shark. I'd eat a dog. I'd eat anything if I had to eat it. If I'd eat it, and I'd try anything too. Like I'm not closed-minded like that.
You'll probably eat the emu as well. I mean, emu.
I'll eat an emu. Actually, I've had emu egg. That thing was huge.
Emu egg is good.
That thing was huge, man. I made we made an omelet that would make any Welsh lady proud. Let me tell you.
Full of protein, mate. It's bloody beautiful. It's way better than a chicken egg.
Oh, yeah, very hearty. I remember that. Like it made like 3 omelets. Like it was crazy. Like there was 3 or 4 of us. The thing was huge.
Shay and I've got a Dutch oven. We just put one giant freaking emu egg in that, and that was it. You don't
just crack the top and just cook the whole egg in it.
Crack the top.
It comes in its own pot. Look at that. That's convenient.
But here's the thing: us humans, we are top of the food chain supply when it comes to carnivores. Like we are we are animal eaters, so we are like a carnivore, right? We will eat the fish, the birds. Mammals will eat anything, so we're carnivores in one sense. Yeah.
Well, we're what we call like omnivores, like omnivorous. Like we can, we can pick and choose. We
Not
can
me.
selective.
I'm a pescatarian.
So you want?
I'm a vegetarian.
Well, there are some people that won't eat anything that comes out of a shell. I know people like that.
Yeah.
But man, I'll eat
I'm not
anything.
one of those.
I'll eat anything.
Yeah, see, I'll give anything a go. There's not too many foods I don't like.
I wasn't born that way.
Sorry, Keith. Go ahead. I just talked over you. What's that?
Oh, I'm just saying I wasn't born that way. It was a health thing, and
Like I said, I'll eat pretty much. I'll try anything anyway, but there's not too much out there that I don't like. I'm not into like those weird, stupid delicacies like balut eggs and shit like that. That's just gross.
No. Yeah. Well, see, when I was a kid,
if it's stinkier than my feet, I'm not eating it.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I didn't like eating Brussels sprouts, but I love them now, man.
Yeah.
I've got this beautiful recipe I have.
I
now.
think, you know what? The funny thing is, though, that's funny you said that, because I think kids are so addicted to sugar, like these sugar cereals and all this other shit, that they don't taste the flavor in a Brussels sprout. Because now when I eat a Brussels sprout, I'm like, wow, that's sweet. Like I taste the sweetness in it. Like I would have, I would have been all over it.
Can you still buy those meter-long sherbet straws in the freaking candy stores still now?
I remember you talking about the sherbet fountains?
Pixie stick.
It had like licorice. It had a licorice in that white powder.
Yeah. Well, you used to be able to
talking about Pixie sticks?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It had the colored powder in it.
Yeah. The sherbet, what we call sherbet here.
I remember those. Yeah.
We have that at our store or whatever. We would give it people in a
I
shake.
have literally seen kids lose their freaking mind over that freaking.
It's pure sugar. You might just give them crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Just give them crack cocaine. Here you go, kid. Wee.
You want to talk about kids being ADHD?
And you have to do it in like a little bit. So they're like, and you stop.
No, if you get your tongue in there, and you get it wet, it gets all jammed up and you can't get the fucking shit out. It's like, oh no, I got it wet again. You gotta cut it. You gotta cut it with scissors.
Well, see,
you can bite it and do that.
I didn't do any of that shit. Yeah, I had sherbet, but I wasn't addicted to it. I used to put my tongue on a little 12-volt battery to see if it was flat or not. You go,
yeah, me too. Yeah. Hey,
yeah.
Take a 120-volt line. That's live.
But the kids of this generation, man, they say, they got ADHD. Just give them no fucking sugar. They'll be fine. Don't give them sugar. They won't have ADHD. These energy drinks, like Red Bull and fucking Mother and Monster energy drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
These kids are dropping them like they're dropping freaking alcohol.
I used to drink pop like a son of a bitch when I was young. I drank so much like pop. That's soda for you Americans out there.
Yeah.
But no, I used to just drink it like it was going out of style. And the reason why is because my dad did, and like it was always there. So I was always pouring a Pepsi or a Coke or whatever it was. And I noticed right away the difference. And it was when I joined the military, actually, because I just didn't drink that stuff anymore. And when I noticed a difference in my diet right away, immediately, like almost immediately, the sugar's gone. Like, I don't know, my burnouts weren't as hard, and my stamina was increased. Like, and I think that was about the turning point for me with sugar. Like, I stopped eating sugary things for the most part by the time I was about 16, 17. But like literally like the other bad habits, like drinking pop and putting sugar in my coffee all the time and stuff like that, though that stuff really kind of slowed down during my stay in the military, because I really noticed the impact of what you're putting into your body happening, like happening later. You know what I mean? Like there's a big difference. Like if you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage results out.
Of course. And then I've changed my sugar over the last 5 months. Like I lost 25 kilos in 5 months. I went from pure white sugar down to raw sugar. Yeah. And that's what I've done. Now I drink a lot of iced tea right now. I love drinking that. But there's one still bad habit I have, and I don't have it all the time. It's probably 3 or 4 times a year. I love peanut butter cups. I love fucking peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
Right? I
eat lots of peanut butter. I eat lots of the natural peanut butter though. Like I'll eat it by the spoon. Like me and my dog will just share a whole jar of it sometimes, and just the
peanut butter cups, the chocolate peanut butter cups. I can't just finish at one. If you buy me a bar of peanut butter cups, Reese's peanut butter cup, they've got to be. I'll eat the whole fucking lot in one go. They have to be completed in one go.
See, I don't even like sweet chocolate, like milk chocolate. I like the bitter chocolate. You know that crunchy bitter chocolate. That's what I like. I don't even like milk chocolate because it's too sweet.
No, I like I like coconut.
Yeah, like
with
I like real
chocolate.
cacao. Like I like proper. You know, if
cacao.
if it won't kill a dog, I'm not interested. You know what I mean? Like it has to be strong.
But I have to say, I'm more on the caramel side than I am on chocolate.
Yeah,
I love
yeah. I'm
chocolate
just not
caramel.
good with sweets. I remember I was
I'm
never
big on
good with cake.
chocolate.
It was
I'm always having chocolate. I try to stop
like
myself.
like
from
cake
eating
and ice
chocolate.
cream. This is a weird thing though. All the way, even since I was a kid, this is one thing I never ate. I never liked cake and ice cream. Like at birthday parties, I couldn't stand it. I hate icing. I hate the cake. The ice cream doesn't. I'm not a texture person, but I didn't even like when the ice cream melted with the cake. That just seemed like the two didn't belong together. Maybe I'm not from this planet, but it just wasn't me. I just wasn't into it. Parents would be like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure. Just get out of my face."
Well, see, I met Shay, who was my fiance 9 years ago, and she created a 2-ingredient chocolate mousse.
Shout out to Shay.
Right? Right? 2 ingredients, chocolate mousse, no sugar.
Like real chocolate mousse, that shit's delicious.
Yep, real chocolate
Yeah,
mousse.
there's
Yeah.
really
Two
delicious.
ingredients. 2 ingredients.
And
Two
that's
ingredients.
just pushing. That's just pushing the sweetness level for me. Like that's pushing it. But yeah, I like real chocolate mousse. Yeah, that's pretty delicious. Like that can fill you up fast. It's nice and rich.
Oh my god.
We just made him mess his pants there, I think.
I think so. Just like a little bit. Like I like that chocolate mousse stuff, but I can only eat like a couple bites. It's just way too rich.
And
Probably the
we
only
make
French
our
thing you like.
and this is going to probably turn a lot of people off, but I need to explain what it is. Chocolate lasagna. It's actually a chocolate Bavarian. But it's layered. The way that Shay and I do it, we layer it like a lasagna, but it's a chocolate lasagna. It's a chocolate Bavarian.
It sounds
No
disgusting, but it's probably not. Yeah.
It's good. What we use cream cheese, Oreo biscuits, crunked up. Like
See now you're heading over. See now you're heading over into the what do you call it? You got the savory. You're heading over to the savory with the cream cheese and stuff. See, that's where I start to get interested. Like, okay, I could. I like cheesecake. I like cheesecake. Okay.
Well, it is. This is like a cheesecake, but it's a chocolate. What they call it, it's a chocolate lasagna, which is technically a chocolate Bavarian.
I'm sitting here saying I don't like sweets, and there's 3 things I like.
Well,
what's a Bavarian?
A Bavarian? It's like a chocolate cheesecake.
Yeah, like those chocolate truffles.
Oh,
I think that those truffle things.
Yeah,
gotcha.
It'll have yeah.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
It's light. It's light. Yeah. It's fluffy, but then it's got a hard component to it, like a graham cracker thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
well, yeah, I am a texture person. That sounds like good texture wise.
Yeah, it's basically like you said. It's a fancy cheesecake. It really is just a cheesecake at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's like
I can only eat a couple bites then because I can't eat a lot of cheesecake anyway.
Well, I love the New York cheesecake. I've always loved the New York cheesecake, but there's so many different flavors for it. But no one can actually get it right every single time. They always seem to fucking change. You go to one cheesecake shop, yeah, it's beautiful. But you go up the road, you get the same fucking cheesecake that you bought an hour ago. Doesn't taste the same.
I was traveling with a colleague in Mexico there, and it was kind of funny because during our travels, she would always get a key lime pie, right? You must like your key lime pie. She's like, no, not really. I don't really like them. I said, why do you get one? She goes, because I had one that was amazing. And she goes, and I've never had one that was like it again. So she was on a search for a key lime pie.
She's like
that had
on
that
a mission.
Yeah. Because she would take a bite and she'd just shake her head. And I'd be like, huh. I just never, I had to ask her one day, like, what the hell is going on here? I found it intriguing though that someone put themselves out getting something that they really don't care for much just to experience that again. Because I guess it must have been really amazing. I want to try it now. Yeah. But see, like I like lemon meringue, but I don't like the
Yeah.
meringue because it's too sweet.
Yeah,
I love the
meringue.
lemon part, but the meringue, depends on how it's made. Sometimes you get it, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
true.
fluffy and creamy. It just feels like granulated sugar in your mouth. It's like,
It depends. It depends who makes the meringue. That's right.
yeah. That's crucial.
It tastes absolutely delicious, but you can get the sour meringue or you get the really fucking sweet one. It's got to be a balance.
I remember two sheets
I like
to the
the
wind.
peach cobbler.
I remember I was 2 sheets to the wind. I was just I was hungry. I was lazy. And I had everything
But it has to be made
everything in
right.
the fridge had to be prepared. I was like, oh, come on. And then there was this $6 lemon meringue pie from the grocery store, a whole one. I hadn't even touched it yet. I grabbed it and a fork. And I sat down. I got busy. I got into that thing, and and there's just the pie plate left over after. Let me tell you, I felt like garbage the next morning. Like I mean, like I felt like that sugar hangover. Like I don't get hangovers. I had a hangover that morning from like the sugar. Even it was just like
Yeah.
oh,
What
sorry.
do you think about peach cobbler? I like that one.
Cobblers, I don't mind so much. They're kind of like a goulash of the dessert.
That has to be
category.
made right too. Like you
Yeah.
have to it's a hit and miss.
Yeah,
kind of dance.
there's too runny, too chunky. There's yeah.
Just right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to be a balance. They just have to be a balance. Otherwise, if you go one way or the other, it just ruins the whole.
And this is your culinary talk for the day.
Anyway,
Anyway, boys and ladies, we're going
we're,
to.
we're
I think
all
we're gonna.
over the board in this
Yeah.
realm.
Well, this was a good
Yeah.
test podcast. I do believe that it would rather successful.
Yeah, we had people watching on Twitch. We got Zadikin. He just gone over to another channel to watch another one that's been banned on. A lot of people have been banned on YouTube lately. There was another channel that just got recently
Yeah.
banned for a week called Cafe Rewind. It's a 1 hour show. They just been kicked off YouTube for a week. I just said, yeah, I've been got my second strike on Friday. I've been banned for another 2 weeks. So looks like I just want to say this before we wrap it up. Maybe places like Twitch and BitChute and Rumble are the only places that we haven't been censored as of yet. Would Twitch go to the dark side, you reckon?
They already are. They already got SJWs on their council of moderators. They're already there. But the thing is that it hasn't devolved into that state yet because it hasn't got the level of I guess you could say the input like Twitter's got is crazy. Like, I mean, you've got actors, you've got people that are getting politically involved, you got all kinds of stuff. You don't have that on Twitter on Twitch because, well, mostly you got people showing you their boring ass lives and what they have to say. So, I mean, it's going to go there.
But what I'm saying, from what I can gather in the last 2 months, we've got a little bit more leeway at the moment, a bit more freedom of speech.
As long as we don't touch on things like if we don't go into, if we don't get into the alphabet people, if we don't get into like certain subjects, we'll be fine here. But as soon as you get into some of these other alternate areas, then you will come under fire by their moderation. Absolutely.
Well, we're going to find out tomorrow, aren't we, with Judy Markovich, who has been highly censored all over social media platforms, in YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. We got her exclusive here on Twitch tomorrow, so let's see where that one goes. Will they censor that show? I don't think they will. I think we'll be right. I can
finish my dinner now.
Where is that from in Nevada? That said like 10 o'clock?
That will be 7 p.m. your time tomorrow.
Oh, 7 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah, 7 p.m. tomorrow night.
Yeah, I should be around. So
where do I see you at?
Go to Southern Truth 79 on Twitch.
And I'll probably since I'm going to be running OBS, what I'm going to do is while you're on,
but I'll make one.
like I'm using my output from Twitch right now in this conference. That's the word I'm looking for. So I'm probably gonna do the same thing tomorrow when I connect with you. But then what I can do is I can also hit the stream button and I'll stream it from my side. I'll stream it to my Twitch as well, so we'll get both sides. It'll be interesting. Just try it as an experiment. It won't affect you at all.
No, I want to use this free conference call tomorrow rather than using StreamYard or anything. I want to use this one. So
okay. Do you want to try your first go at OBS or what? Because you can't use StreamYards and the free conference. You have to use one or the other.
Well, I want to try and do OBS. Yes, I do want to try OBS, but you and I will have to do I
got a couple great videos. I watched a few really great ones that help you with setting up for the first time, and I think if you watch it with Shay, you guys would be able to set up something for a good first one anyway, and get the feel for it.
Once we finish here, we're going to have tea very shortly. I'll call you on Skype and we'll do some screen sharing and what I need to do. Mm-hmm. I've already got OBS here. Just need to put everything in that little fucking box that they got down the bottom. You know what I mean? Just put everything in that box. So when we hit that live button tomorrow, yeah, man. It's cool. No, the guy goes over all the settings you need for the stream. He shows you how to set up a scene with sources. He basically shows you how to get started up for a very good first run. So I highly recommend that what you do is watch that video, do the things in it, and then get a hold of me, and then we'll test the son of a bitch out, and then we can correct anything that's not right or add things that you want to do on top of that.
Where do you get the stream key from?
You get it from Twitch.
Yeah, you get it from Twitch.
You get it from Twitch.
Oh, okay. You have to do it. Oh,
let's say Rob and I got a email from Twitch. I think it was Friday morning that they changed the stream key automatically.
I think that had something to do with the Facebook hack. I think that's why. Because
is that what happened?
Apparently a terabyte of user data was also stolen and went up for sale on the dark web or some bullshit. I don't know how true any of it is.
I heard Facebook went down. I didn't know why.
It went down.
I figured it might have been a hack.
Well, they're blaming it on a hack.
Actually a hack?
They're blaming it on a hack, but I'm starting to think twice now. I'm starting to think twice. I think.
Didn't I call that a while ago? I called that they were going to do a blackout and call it a hack. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, but I think they might have done that. I don't know for sure because I can't say for certainty. But hang on, it's just convenient because I think they might have used that to get rid of some user data, and that was a perfect opportunity to make some data go away because they're under investigation as we speak. And
they probably did it on a certain day, to reflect some sort of ritual.
Well, what I got is that the domain name was expired. They had to buy a new domain name and whatnot. And
what they did is they crashed the DNS system so that it no longer recognized the actual domain name's viability. What they did is they expired the domain name. And when that got rejected on the DNS servers after that, it propagated across the internet of the world. And then in 2 or 3 hours is basically gone. What they had to do is change the records back and then repropagate it. So it would take another 2 to 6 hours for it to come back. But in that time period, I think they also had some data breaches. And I have a funny suspicion that somebody made some data go away that could have incriminated them during this investigation they have going right now with the whistleblower and stuff. And I don't know what people are complaining about.
What are they saying they did it for?
I want to say something about this whistleblower. They're like, oh, she didn't whistle to anything, blah, blah, blah. Well, then watch the 3 hours of her fucking deliberating her fucking speech, where she's actually being interviewed by Congress. She tells a hell of a lot. So I don't know what people are saying. Oh, she's not saying nothing. No, maybe nothing you can understand. Go read a book, motherfucker. Anyway.
Well, it wasn't just Facebook either. It was Instagram as well.
Yeah, well, Instagram's owned by Facebook. They're on the same servers. And see, another thing that happened is I think that...
Why didn't Twitter go down?
Well, Twitter's not Facebook.
No, but they're all running off the same type of fucking...
No, it's not the same type of. They have to be the same company and sharing the same caching servers. See, Facebook and... Facebook owns Instagram, And I don't know if they're housed on the same
Did the
servers. Probably
hackers
not.
say why they did it?
No, I don't think that's even relevant.
Is there a modus operandi involved in
Well,
this at
modus
all, or-
operandi is the method in which they did it, not motive. But I know what you mean. No, I didn't hear
Of
I
course.
didn't hear anything like that. None of that was revealed that I'm aware of. But I mean, I was watching it happen in real time, and my phone was blowing up off the hook. Why is my Facebook not working? I said, nobody's is. Just give it a rest. You'll get your dopamine rush later.
I wasn't using Facebook, so I didn't know
Yeah.
And this is what we're
until
talking
they
about.
like reported it. And then I just saw like Saturday Night Live, and they like did a joke about it.
Wow. See, the more I see things like that, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading too deep into it. But the thing is
I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's
yeah.
all inclusive. It's like,
Yeah.
were they thinking about it beforehand? They set
funny
it up
haha.
so that
Now
they
we
would
can get
do
on.
it.
Yeah, funny haha. We can get on with their day now. You know.
But that's the thing we were talking about earlier tonight's show about the consciousness,
Yeah.
of what.
Yeah, you
They
get
can't-
people not thinking, or you get people not thinking about it, or not thinking at all.
Well, that's what they say. They think
Fill
that
in the
they-
void, and then that becomes what they talk about.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead,
reality-
Jamie. Go ahead.
The reality. They think this is reality. Like, I understand people like watching soap operas and shit like that. But if that's impacting your life and you can't live without it, then
Well, but hang
Mhm.
on. I think maybe yes, Jamie, to answer that question, because even the housewives sitting at home watching either, freaking reality TV shows or soap operas, right? That mental distraction, like, takes away from the universal shared consciousness of everybody. I'm not saying it's impactful in a negative way. I'm just saying it's impactful. They did a study.
Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's why they did it, to
Yeah,
make people
like
see,
in Mecca.
see reality.
I don't know if you remember, about 10 years ago, something like that. They had scientists
they
that went
did
to
it.
Mecca, and they took readings. Like, they had they were using different types of equipment to measure different types of energy. And the people there, like the monks and that, when they were doing their chanting in these groups of like hundreds of people, there was a measurable energy change. Like, there was a spike. And like, it was this, I don't know if it's a combination of shared consciousness and vocal wave energy. Maybe that somehow propagates an energy change in other crystalline structures. I know I'm reaching here, but I'm just saying there's some force at work there that was measurable. And it's just interesting to note, because I think this shared consciousness thing is a thing. I think it's actually something that could be quantifiable if we just kind of tried to understand it better. Or maybe we shouldn't. I don't know.
well, if people are just so impacted on what we just talked about, Facebook shutting down last week, and people losing their shit over Facebook.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just
and
going.
that's the thing.
I'm just
That's
going
the
on.
thing.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it was like a test to see what would happen,
But that's just
to
it.
see how we and maybe that brings it back to what he was saying, where it was the artificial intelligence.
And that's
Maybe
also
what
that's
is
also the
testing
fight,
us.
because they replace their consciousness with this artificial consciousness, which is the Facebook and the way they interact with people there. So it's like they've stripped that away, and now people are mad. People should be mad that this consciousness is being taken away, but they're, you know what I mean? They're being kind of
Like Black Mirror. It
tempted
reminds me
into
of
it.
Black Mirror.
Yeah, like very much like that, and because they're being tempted into it by the evil dark side. But I digress. Listen, you guys have been great. Billy was great. You guys listening and watching there, you guys are all fucking legends. And thanks for watching this test podcast. I think we went off pretty good tonight. I kept it more or less simple, but my rebuilding of all my software worked. So I will.
And everything's great. Everything going great on my end, man. I've got green fucking I'm watching like a heart rate, beat rate. It's fucking good.
Yeah. The patient's not dying on the table is what you're trying to say. That's a good sign. So anyway, everybody, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Just be careful. Take care of each other, guys, because it's a weird one out there today. All right, and that's it. We're out.